The opinions expressed in the following podcast may not be those of the hosts or management of JoeCitizen.net. The podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. We are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast.
Welcome to Joe Citizen Podcast.
Hello.
Keith and Rick Dobson right here is just going to rattle on about issue 1.
Yes.
Very controversial subject.
Yep. So, for those of you out there paying attention, if you see coming up November 7th, other than your local elections and who you're going to vote for school boards or whatever, there's a major bill
Called issue
or a
1.
ballot called Issue 1 that is going to potentially change everything in the state of Ohio
Constitution.
to the Constitution. Yep. So,
Well, I think I'll start out with a political kind of hula.
yeah.
Here we are worried about abortion. All right? Biggest issue in our lives right now. And China is sending 60 warships over to the Middle East
I hear you.
to battle with America.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So let's not worry about World War III and the overtaking of the American way of life.
Right,
Let's
exactly.
worry about abortion.
Exactly.
So, Keith, you've got some ideas that are slightly different than mine.
Okay.
So I think I'll let you lead out on the issue where you want to bring up the August 8th.
Yeah,
election.
well, as we've been talking through the days, one of the things that I thought was disappointing was just simply the fact that that August 8th ballot, in order to take it from 50% plus 1 up to 60%, if you remember, the left was sending out pamphlets and everything saying that this was going to be affecting people's rights for an abortion.
Yeah, I hate to use the word the left and the right. The other side.
Okay, the other side.
With the other opinion.
Well, I was just pointing out who the left would do the right.
Yeah, I got it.
The left. Their argument was that this was going to affect abortion rights, but nobody could actually explain at the time how was that going to affect abortion rights, because we're going to assume that a lot of people don't even know what issue 1 is.
Only
when
what they've
they-
been half heard.
Even
half
if they
told.
go to the voting polls that day, they're not really going to know. So, what do we want to do? We want to cover what this issue actually is. Do we want to read it?
Oh, I think that's boring.
Do you?
There it is, right here. We're going to talk about it, but bottom line is you can go look this up. But here it is again. This is all about the abortion issue. No. It's not all about the abortion issue, because there's other issues that can be extracted out of this because of the very loose language of the contract.
Right.
And this is my opinion why, my main opinion why is vote no is the answer. When I sign a contract, and this is a contract, people, you're signing a contract. And unfortunately, it's between the government and the people. It's a contract that they wrote so loosely, it can be interpreted in absolutely virtually any way you want to interpret it. And that's, to me, a sole reason why you shouldn't do it. If they can't explain exactly what the terms of this contract include, just like our famous politicians say, we got to pass the bill to see what's in it.
Right.
Well, you seen what happened with that. Let's not make it happen here.
Right.
But I personally want to talk about abortion right now.
Yep. Okay.
The pro-abortion people are all about abortion at apparently any limits and any cost.
Yep.
The absolutely against abortion people seem to be virtually against any reason to have an abortion, period.
Any exceptions?
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's it. So we got the one side that says abortions for any reason, at any time, to the people who say abortion never allowed, ever, for any reason.
Right.
Well, we know that both of those have to be wrong.
Correct.
As they always say, two
One
sides
would
of the
think
story.
or hope.
Somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Yep.
So, and the fact is, there are reasons why abortion should be allowed. Rape, incest, health dangers to both the child and or the parent. Who's going to make those decisions? We got to sit down and talk about those. When is a baby considered to be a living being? At the time it's delivered, or somewhere in between that?
Well,
This hasn't been established.
actually,
That needs to be established.
actually, it has been
Well,
established.
has it really been established?
Yes, it was established. That's what we were talking about earlier. It has been established in certain laws that are currently on the books.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with
There
talked
are
about-
laws. They're not
But-
constitutional amendments, but they
but
are
you're always-
on the books.
You're hearing people talk all the time that it's 6 weeks, it's 22 weeks, it's
Correct.
whenever I feel like it. So evidently they don't believe anything's been established. Or we wouldn't be here today, maybe, So this contract, and I'll hold it up again, is wide open to any interpretation by anybody for any reason. And inclusive to what is an individual.
Correct.
Give a definition of an individual.
Absolutely.
In corporations or in business, a corporation is an individual. And they don't say anything about age. Nothing in here says
No.
anything about age.
No.
So it's not well written. That's all I can say. It's not well written, and I'm just stumbling on. It's not well written, guys. It's not well written.
No, and actually, Attorney General David Yost has concurred exactly what you're saying. That it is a poorly written amendment. If it's completely poorly.
Designed for total litigation
Yep.
to suit anybody's need or desire.
Yep. So we will.
By the way, did attorneys write this?
Depends on which. I'm sure a few of them
Somewhere
did
along
with the
there were attorneys.
organizations.
Yeah.
So we will be posting a link to David Yost's commentary, his summary regarding the amendment. Now, in being fair to someone like David Yost, he's got a job to do as the Attorney General, which is the citizen-initiated proposals is what the August 8th election was supposed to
And this
address.
is what we have right now.
This is what we have right now. This was a citizen-initiated constitutional proposal to change the Constitution. And
With
David,
a 50 plus one.
yes, and David Yost, to be fair to what his job entails, even if he doesn't agree with this, he still goes through all the procedures that have to
Or
happen.
he's required to.
Yeah, what he's required to do is the Attorney General. So he literally says, "I don't like this, but I got to do my job," and that did not stop him, however, from giving his complete 13-page summary of why he thinks absolutely, no matter the fact that he had to present it anyway, why he thinks it's just bad legislation, bad law, bad constitutional amendment. So we will post that link for you to actually go download it, and it's in PDF format. You can download it, read it at your own leisure. You can do it on the website, on his website. But we will post that link to the .gov website that's on.
Besides, I'm going to go back on this issue, besides the fact that it's poorly written, we're in a different world. We're in a different world today. And many, if not most of the younger generation, or a very large percent of the younger generation, has no qualms at all that abortion is okay.
No.
And if we don't, as people who are totally against abortion, don't come to the table with an equitable solution to this, they're going to lose.
Yeah,
The right, the religious, whatever you want to call it, is going to lose.
they're going to lose it.
Because this is a new life. This is a new world we live in. And abortion seems to be an acceptable situation. My concern is the fact that it could be for selfish reasons, intents, and there's no There's no time limit again. That's what I talk about. There's no time limit. I can abort to the day before. Maybe it's the day after. Who knows? See, there's no limits and rules to anything, and you got to have limits and rules to something so you have some understanding of how it's going to proceed.
Correct. The Ohio Attorney General basically concurred with what you just said in that writing. He concurred exactly with
Then
that.
why am I not Ohio Attorney General if I know
Because that costs money. So
it does. And you have to be a little smarter than me.
yeah. Here was an interesting fact though that I didn't tell you.
Holding out on me.
Well, I had to save something for when we go on air. But did you know? You were saying about today's society. So in order for this amendment to actually be brought before even the Attorney General, there obviously had to be petitions signed.
Huge number of people.
Over 400. The limit to get it further onto David Yost was 410,000 signatures, and they were able to get somewhere in the neighborhood.
700 something? Wasn't it 700?
It was about
Lot,
it was
huge.
about 70,000 more.
Oh, is that
than
what it was?
Yeah, it wasn't that great of a leap, but it was still enough. And
So I
and
think
my question,
the limit was wrong. The minimum amount of signatures they needed was
400.
450,000.
Yeah, 410.
410.
But they got like 470,000, which is a lot. So that's kind of telling you that the people that are in favor of this, they've been doing all the groundwork. They've been footing out on the, going house to house to house, being active. To be really honest, and I hate even saying that this was true. I didn't know to the extent of what the amendment was going to be until that gentleman came knocking on my
your
front
door?
door,
Yeah.
on my door.
Yeah.
I just knew there was issue 1. I knew it had something to do about abortion, but I didn't know it was actually going to be the constitutional amendment. And he actually had a clipboard that looked like he had people sign things, but he never asked me to sign it. But we did sit and talk about it for a while, and he was the one that provided the literature and said you got to read it. So at least somebody was out there. But I'm just telling you that
It's a shame.
feet on the ground have been
It's a shame
the yes
in the
people.
first place it has to be a political issue.
Yeah.
It's a shame
Yep.
because people's minds get so clouded and they're so distraught that if you're anti-abortion, everything else that's important to you in your life, you've forgotten about them.
right.
So you'll vote against everything you believe in just because of the one issue.
Bingo.
Sad.
Bingo. Right
Sad,
there.
sad.
Bingo.
I mean,
That-
and so it's kind of like, is it what you say, throw the baby out with the bathwater?
There you go. That's it.
So you've thrown out the rest of your life, all the values and things you believe in,
Yep.
because of the one issue,
The one issue.
which is a shame.
I agree.
And let's get to what I had mentioned to you before, is that the people are believers that it's a sin. It's a sin to have an abortion. So what I'm saying is we got to take the religious aspect out of it and the atheist aspect about it, and let's took the human aspect and put it into it. And
Okay,
come up with
but
a happy medium.
well, yeah.
No?
The happy medium probably would have been the way that the current law is now, or not the current law, but when they do any law that's going to amend what the previous law was, because again, there were problems with the laws that currently are on Ohio's books that aren't in the Constitution. It said in there that it didn't even allow, the current law in Ohio didn't even allow, since 2019, was exceptions for rape or incest or medical condition. Ohio is one of the only states that just said flat out, no abortions.
Well, see,
And that's still there on the books.
I disagree with that. Because
Oh, yeah, I
think,
do too.
I think there's reasons why it should be acceptable. We have to determine as a human society what the reasonable situations are to consider abortions.
Right.
And so then I just say, if all the people who are totally for abortion, well, don't argue with me. I want my Second Amendment right and I want to own a gun.
Right.
All right? Just don't even argue with me. Just shut your mouth. So I don't mean to be so blunt like that, but it's if they're talking they want their First Amendment rights and it's their body, their choice, so is it for the person in the Second Amendment. It's their right to have a gun. Why don't you go after the criminals again? Go after the people, the rapists and the incest people and abusers of the situation.
Right.
But that's too easy
Yeah.
not to do it. Too easy not to do it.
Okay, so now as you get ready to go on your rant,
That wasn't enough?
oh, not yet.
All
I know.
right.
I know you're going to get better.
Hey, listen, again, I simply say this. It is not clearly
That's it.
defined. It is a loosely written document made for interpretations at the will and whim of the moment.
When you stop and think of all the federal legislation that are like stacks and stacks and stacks of books
That nobody
was-
reads.
that nobody read, and I remember when they showed that, and that was the you have to vote for it before you know what's in it. This is the shortest verbiage
How come you got two sides? I only got one.
because my
The other
print,
side-
my print's bigger.
Oh, you're getting
I'm
old.
surprised
You're
you
older
can,
than me.
I'm surprised you can even read that.
Yeah.
But again,
You were getting ready to talk, and I interrupted you as usual.
I was just saying how short this
Yeah.
whole thing.
yeah.
It's almost bizarre that it is this
For
short.
law, I use it as
Yes.
tons of caveats in
Yeah,
there.
this is bizarre. I've never seen anything
Well-
this short and this vague.
I do know that attorneys like to leave a lot of caveats in there so that they have opportunities to argue later.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to pretty much when I make a contract with somebody, I like to be pretty cut and dry. This is what we're talking about. These are the terms and conditions, and sign right here. That's no terms and conditions.
No, not at all.
But anyways,
Absolutely not.
so what else we want to talk about this? I mean, is it simple? Do your homework, read, study.
You know, we can go on all day about it, but I think really your point is probably the simplest thing when someone's going to go on November 7th to actually vote, that they can't vote with their emotion about the issue. They have to vote on
The contract.
the contract.
There is nothing in this contract
There- yeah.
that protects anybody.
No.
Anybody.
No.
So
So this
situation is
isn't even a basis about abortion. This is about more about contractual law, whether it's
a
abortion or
contract.
guns
Yeah.
or anything.
This is a contract you're trying to make with me with no clear understanding of what my contract is.
Right.
So I just, this also leads into what people are talking about, that we lose some of our parental controls because they don't define individual.
They're going to lose them all.
An entity can be a school.
Yep.
So somebody who wants to exert their opinions and feelings onto a younger person and try to influence them into a decision that maybe that's not right for them, whether it's abortion or transgender or any other,
Or that the parent
socially
is not
impact-
having any say by not being there when someone's talking to them.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it may have the opportunity to affect parental rights because it didn't give a clear definition.
And that's what the
Age,
attorney.
gender, entity, nothing.
That's what the AG has stated. And again, I encourage everybody while 2 weeks is around, go pull up. We'll just go to the link. We'll have it there.
Let's go back to the drawing board. And you're right. There are reasons why an abortion should be allowed. And let's sit down and talk like human beings and not have to hate each other because I'm all abortion or I'm all anti-abortion.
Right.
It's crap, and this is what our problem is.
Yep.
There's no communication. It's my way or the highway.
Yep.
No. We all have to drive on the same highway, so let's agree on this.
Yeah.
So the answer is,
No.
and the answer is,
No.
No, no, not because abortion is right or wrong.
Right.
Because it's a sucky contract.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So we could talk about this, go on more and more. We can dig into, well, it means this and it means that. No, 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 no. It doesn't tell me what it means. It's leaving every meaning in the interpretation of whomever reads it.
Yep.
It's not defined.
Well, you know, was a former president that said even our Constitution is a living, breathing document that is open for interpretation.
And you know, I have to admit, I don't know which guy said that, but I know somebody
don't?
said it. No, I can't remember.
Really?
No, hell no. I'm too busy.
He's the same guy that said you didn't build that.
Oh, Uncle Obama.
Yeah.
Boy, I really was mad when he said I didn't build that.
Our Irish president.
Listen,
Barack Obama.
he said I didn't build that. But I remember I was up every morning at 4 o'clock, sometimes working to midnight, sometimes working 24, 36-hour shifts. But I didn't build that.
Nope.
No, sir. No, I didn't build that. I
Yeah.
risked every cent I had for me and my family, every asset I own to build a business. I went 5 years without a paycheck. Now, you threw me off subject for that one. And that ticks me off.
I wanted you to go on
That
rant.
ticks
This is
me
good. This is good.
All right, so the bottom line
Well,
is...
I'm just trying to put some links in the chain together so people can kind of understand how all this got.
Don't trust our government entirely.
No.
Don't trust our government. And as a matter of fact, we'll be coming up with a podcast soon. I just put a sign out in my yard with the threats that is dividing and intended to divide America.
Yeah.
And one of them, the most important one, is our very own government. In case in point with this very subject.
Yep.
Putting this on as a law?
The Democrats know this. They know that this is the issue, no matter what, primarily with women.
There's a lot of men involved.
There's a lot
but
of-
it's primary. It's
There are, but
primarily-
I'm just saying that
because it's the woman that has to do the abortion. So it's primarily the woman.
yes,
And you know what? It is your body. It is your right.
right.
But there has to be some rules and regulations. It is my life. I can run around all I want, but I can't run around and shoot and murder people and steal and rob from the store. There has to be rules, laws, and guidelines to it. Same
Well, you know,
as the abortion.
Some we didn't talk about, when we've had these discussions before we kind of went on air with everything, was that, how many states have laws that consider if you killed a pregnant woman and the baby died too, that it's a double homicide.
Oh, I do not know how many that is.
But you knew that happens, right?
Yes.
And I cannot remember if Ohio actually has that or not. I'll have to check that. But
When somebody
again,
has an auto accident, DUI guy, and he kills a mother and the baby, isn't he killed two people?
that's
Yeah.
many states have that law, and I think it might be in Ohio too. I don't quote me until I check.
But you mentioned something different than that subject you just talked about. You brought up this is the only state that this bill is on the ballot.
Yes.
And you know why that is.
Well, other than the obvious of what happened on August 8th, but why?
The obvious is they can dump a slew of money into one state and set a precedent.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So the next state's easier, and the next state's easier, and
Yep.
the next state's easier.
Yep. I get it. Yep. You're
Abortion is okay in certain applications, but this contract is terrible.
right. Yep.
Vote no,
Vote no.
based on this contract.
Yep. Vote no. And we'll post it up. You can see it. It's
So you want to talk any more about this, or do you think we would just be repeating ourselves?
I think we're pretty strong and cohesive
reasons
on
why we vote no?
Our reason, yeah.
But
the
listen,
main reason.
Listen,
Whether
well,
they get it or not, don't vote on emotion. Vote on
the contract.
contract.
Listen, and just because you're an adamant vote yes person, you don't have to hate me. I gave you an opinion, not based on whether abortion is right or wrong, about the contract.
Right.
Read the contract.
Right.
So
So are we done here? Is this house clean?
this
This house is clean. Have we gotten the poltergeist out of here?
I don't know. We haven't had We haven't got them all. I can see a few shadows floating
I know,
around up here.
I know.
But, hey, listen, guys, this is great. Joe Citizen gives us an opportunity to talk about our opinions and our values and our concerns. If you have a subject matter you want to talk about, info@joecitizen.net.
.net.
And you can let us know what you might want to talk about or comments on anything.
Yep.
It's open.
Yep.
It can be just
Come
effed up
on in.
people.
Come on in. The door's open.
Yeah. So really, we appreciate you listening to our podcast and hope you tune in. And we got a good one coming up really soon.
Yep.
Very controversial. It's can't tell you.
No, you're not going.
No.
You're not going to give a surprise.
All I can say is strap in for the ride of your life because America is on the ride of its life.
Oh yeah.
The
Yep.
country we knew and we thought we knew
Maybe.
and thought we had
Maybe it's gone.
may be gone. Stay tuned.
But pay no attention to this bill behind the curtain.
That bill?
That bill.
Hey,
Yeah, his
listen,
name's Bill.
listen, there are tons of bills like that.
Oh yeah.
Tons of bills like that they just randomly slam down our throat and nobody takes time to read it. And you know, in fact, you think about it. How many people really looked into this one? But how many people saw all the football games,
we're-
college football games over the weekend?
and we're
but this
actually
affects
pretty-
your life and nobody's paying attention.
We're actually pretty politically, savvy in some regards. I mean, we like it, but again, someone had to just come knock on my door by a little miracle in me to go, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. This is what it's really going to happen.
Well, again, we'll go back to you. It's changing the constitutional amendment.
Right.
This is just one, guys. How many more they're going to throw at us?
Oh,
and gonna-
there's
gonna
a
suck you
ton in
on
the
this?
pipeline right now. And it will not surprise me if if this does what they think it's going to do or that they're trying to do, you wait to see what else is coming up.
Oh, our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights,
Yeah.
everything we do in our life could be impacted.
Yep. You wait and see how they're going to attack the Ohio Constitution now too.
The United States Constitution.
Both.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you
right.
for listening. Stay tuned, and
We'll see you on the next episode of Joe Citizen Podcast at joecitizen.net.